Hi there, traders, and welcome back to Trade the Structure. I've got the first video for the new year, 2022. I hope you all had a good break. It's good to have a break over the holidays just to refresh and do a bit of planning for the year ahead, and also just to do a bit of a revision of what your trading's been like. So I always take this time just to step away, and there's been a bit of action over the Christmas break, over the holiday break for me anyway. You can see the markets have been moving, and I've missed out, but it is a lot more dangerous, I'd feel, because the markets are a lot thinner and they could really, turn on a dime. So it's times to be careful, but there is opportunity. Either way, I just take that time to take a bit of a break from the screens, and I hope you do too, and nice and refreshed for the new year. So what I'm going to look at for the first video, I'm going to look at Bitcoin. Okay, I've got it on the daily chart, and I don't really believe it's looking too crash hot for the bulls. Okay, I think everyone's talking up the 100,000 mark, but the problem is we've had this initial run up to around 65,000. It's backed off to around 30,000. Found some support in here, and the second time around it's pushed up. It's probed through the highs, but as soon as it's got through the highs, it looks to me like it was just trying to trap some buyers. Buyers on the breakout, trapping them, and then selling into that at that buying pressure. Okay, just through the highs. So it really didn't get through the highs very much, and that was from sort of April 21 last year. Okay, got through these highs, probed through, backed off. From here, if it was going to be strong, it should have kept going. It should have really pressed a lot higher, pulled back, retested that level, and kept on going. But instead, it's probed through, failed, probed through just this previous high and then the other high, and then failed again. But this time round, it's coming right off. Okay, so to me, that's a major double top coming into play, which is obviously going to drag in some sellers or drag in some short traders. Whether it's going to be dragging in some buyers to close out positions, or they're happy to hold, or just some fresh new sellers to pressure price lower. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's sort of lining up for me anyway, for a bit of a move down and potentially looking to retest that 30,000 mark. Okay, so I call this a retest fail. Any videos, anyone that's been following me for a while, we call it an RTF, okay, retest fail, and we talk about shoulders. So shoulders is sort of the lower high. If you're coming off an RTF like this, I'm looking to sell into the shoulders, potentially here, and potentially just what's playing out now, okay? But we're just waiting to see a bit more confirmation whether it's going to be an RTF sell down to this 30,000 level with the stop just above here anyway. But we'll look at the lower time frame in a minute. So as I said, the daily is not looking too crash hot to me. I think it's got some weight to it. Normally, when you get, you've got a good run up here, the market can't go higher at this first stage. Okay, it backs off. It's got to hold the base and it's got to work off that base. So really that should have been sort of from this low to high, extrapolate that out, this low to high, and it should have taken you a lot higher than sort of, retest and just fail back off these 65,000 level. So once you get that double top coming into play, to me, you're going to get a deeper correction. So I feel that at the minimum, it's going to trade down to this 30,000 level, okay? Retest there. It might even flush through and just do the reverse of what we saw before. Flush through, trap some sellers, and turn around and bounce again. But I do feel that this level in here, because this level, this trend up, even though it wasn't quite clean, I mean, as we saw before, big expansion higher, pull back, another expansion. It was a really nice trend up. This has been a bit heavier. You can see it sort of pops up, rolls. It was looking a bit rounded top, starting to round over, got your shoulder, come back in, found a little bit of a buying, a bit of a base in here. That was around 40,000 or so, and then extended up and got back into that 65,000 mark before failing again. Okay, so this time around, I would expect that we're going to hold below 52, this zone through here, which we'll just take a look at now. So one thing I do take notice of a lot is the MACDs, okay? I use the MAs. I've got a 10, a 20, and a 50 EMA, okay? And when the market's below that, so if I'm trading off this double top, for instance, I want to see it get below the MAs, hold the shoulder, and expand lower, okay? Really start to squeeze out any of these longs that are built up. So you've got longs from here. Anyone sort of above this level has been put under pressure. Okay, anyone below, okay, might be willing to hold. If you're long here, just above this level, you're probably under pressure now. You're going to want to be thinking serious about putting your stop under this zone around 44. Anyone that's sort of bought in this zone here is still in the green slightly, and you might want to tighten your stop right up into that same sort of zone. But anyone below that is not really under pressure, and we've seen many times in the past where it's bounced. Okay, out of the blue, it just bounced. Like here, it wasn't really much of a long setup, but it took off. Here, it was looking like it was heading south. It was going to break and then just bang straight up. So the first shoulder was around this area here on the 5th of August or so. So yeah, what I'm looking for now is, like I said, rolling over, take out this level. I'd be looking for a retest. So ideally, I'd want to see this kind of action to go south into this 30,000 level and look for a short setup after that retest fails. But if it does, then there's no reason why this level can't hold. I wouldn't be getting long, right here. I'd be looking for something which it perks up. I'd maybe looking for something like this and then looking for that break. Okay, I want to be working off a shoulder again. I want to see that rounded bottom start to come in and working off a higher low, not just buying off that support. You buy off that support, you can easily get flushed. And markets will more often than not look to just really put pressure on some stops and go stop hunting, okay? And it's quite it's a straightforward, clear zone where there's going to be stops below. Anyone that's bought in here for this little move up has still got to stop below. Anyone that's buying it now has got to stop below. So it's a clear level where it could be targeted for a stop run. Okay, before it could stop, run, flush, and then bounce. Okay, but either way, you want to be working longs off a higher low and shorts off a lower high. Okay, let's go down to the hourly now, just to finish it up. Just one more thing we're going to point out. So you've got, this is the same levels. What we've got here, not only an RTF, a major RTF or a major double top, we were just talking about this up here around the 65 mark. We've got an RTF around the 52 level. Okay, so the market, got smacked. A big sell-off, come back up to 52, was sold down again. We found some buying through here. Okay, we've got a shoulder, nice little long entry. It popped up to that 52 level, and you can see it's flushed the highs on this little spike up through. It flushed the previous highs. Okay, so that's just a stop hunt, and then it started to roll over again. So that's another RTF. So we've got a major RTF at 65. We've got another minor RTF at 5,200. Okay, 52,000. Sorry. And the market's now heading south. So we've got potentially, this is a major shoulder, which you can see starting to roll. That's going to put pressure on the downside. So I wouldn't mind just on the shorter time frame, potentially looking for something like that. Just at the very least, look for that stop run. Okay. But if this turns into something bigger, that's great. We've got minimal risk. Really letting it open up to the downside. So we're not taking a massive risk on this. Now, if we sell in here, for instance, and it comes in here and spikes straight back up, we're not taking a massive risk on it, and we can start to work the long side because it could be starting to hold. Okay, but either way, for now, what I'm seeing and what I'm looking to trade from is the short side for now. I'm seeing some major pressure to the downside, and we've got the MACD's not saying too much here. It's a bit choppier. This is the longer term starting to roll here, and that's more based around the daily, what we were just talking about here. The MACD is starting to roll, so there's some momentum coming for the downside. It's just what's happening on those sort of first pops. If the pops get sold into below this level around 47, 48, then I feel that it's going to be the very minimum. It's going to be a bit of a stop hunt at this level through 45 or so. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about, really. I think it's one really worth keeping an eye on, because if this starts to unwind, there could be another major margin unwind of long positions. Okay, really attack all those margin traders. But either way, I'll be watching for shoulders on the downside and shoulders on the upside. I love to trade off my shoulders. I don't like to just put a bid in here, for instance, as it's coming down. I feel that's not a high probability setup. Sometimes you might get a better fill, or probably more often than not, you'll get a better fill, but you'll get stopped out a lot more than you will if you work off your shoulders and just minimize your risk that way. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Now, it'd be great if you could subscribe to the channel and leave us a like. If you do, leave us a like on the video, and remember to look at the website. It's www.tradethestructure.com. Take a look through that. Any questions, just shoot us an email. All right, we'll speak to you again soon.